is a story about one of our favorite trees, the apple tree. This story is called The Seasons of Arnold's Apple Tree, and it shows a year in the life of Arnold's apple tree. I have apple trees at home, and it's so much fun to watch the bees in the spring pollinating those apple blossoms that will, over the course of the summer, change color and become beautiful apples for us to enjoy. A healthy treat thanks to the gift of our bee buddies and their pollination. Arnold climbs up high in the branches of the apple tree. He can see far, far away in every direction. This is Arnold's very own secret place. This is Arnold's apple tree. Arnold's tree keeps him very busy all through the year. It is spring. Here we see Mrs. Robin up in the tree. Arnold watches the small buds grow on his apple tree. See those little tiny buds that will send off that sweet smell to attract our bee buddies. Some of the buds develop into sweet-smelling apple blossoms. Carefully and quietly, Arnold watches bees collect nectar from the blossoms to make honey. They collect that yellow pollen dust in the pollen baskets on their legs, and then when they fly to the next flower to collect more pollen, some of the pollen from another flower falls in and helps that flower to be pollinated to produce an apple, the fruit of the plant that will contain the seeds. We wouldn't have those apples without the help of our bees. Arnold makes a swing for his apple tree. Oh, I love to swing, don't you? He weaves an apple blossom wreath and hangs it from a branch. Arnold picks an armful of apple blossoms and brings it to his family. They make a flower arrangement together that makes their house look pretty and smell good too. Now the seasons change. It is summer. Arnold's apple tree has big green leaves that rustle in the wind and make a beautiful song. Arnold builds a tree house. How fun is that? His apple tree shades him from the hot summer sun. Look at what Arnold's doing. He's sitting up in his tree house having a snack of honey and bread, and he's reading a good book just like we are. The green leaves shelter him during a summer shower. The canopy of Arnold's apple tree is like a giant umbrella he can sit under, and it keeps him dry in the middle of a rainstorm. Arnold watches small apples begin to grow from where the blossoms used to be. They grow bigger, bigger, and bigger. See all those apples, thanks to the help of our bee buddies. And some of them are even changing red. With some of the big green apples, Arnold does a juggling act for his tree friend. He's pretty talented. Now the seasons change. It is fall. We can also call it autumn. And what do we notice? Lots of changes. The green apples have turned to red, and the leaves have turned from green to gold. Arnold's apple tree now has big, red, tasty apples. The green leaves have turned golden. They drift to the ground. And all winter long, those leaves will be food for our decomposer pals, worms and roly-polies that will eat it all winter long and then poop out new rich soil to be a vitamin for Arnold's tree. Arnold gathers some of the leaves and brings them up to his treehouse to make a soft floor to lie on. Arnold shakes the branches and red apples fall to the ground. He puts them in a basket and takes them home. Look at all those beautiful apples that Arnold harvested. He wouldn't have any of those apples without the help of our bee buddies. Thank you, bees. Arnold and his family make apple pies with apples from Arnold's apple tree. So many tasty treats we can make out of our apples. They put the rest of the apples into a cider press and make fresh apple cider. They turn that crank and it squeezes all the juice out of the apples. I have all those apples growing at home and I'm going to make apple sauce with some of them. On Halloween Day, Arnold decorates some of the biggest apples. Look at, he's painting them just as if they were jack-o'-lanterns. They glow in the moonlight under his tree on Halloween night. Look at, he's pretending to be a pirate. What would you like to be for Halloween? Now the seasons change. It is winter. Snow falls. It is quiet. The branches of Arnold's apple trees are bare. Arnold hangs strings of popcorns and berries on them for the winter birds to eat. This is a very kind thing that Arnold is doing to help his bird buddies and squirrels to get food when food is scarce. I think that's a very nice thing that Arnold is doing. He builds a snow fort around the bottom of his tree. Arnold builds a snowman to keep him and his tree company during the winter. So much fun. Now the seasons change again. The snow melts away. It is spring again. And that warmer temperatures and the melting snow and the spring rains tell the tree it's time to wake up and get ready for spring. And all those buds on the tree will open up and send out their sweet smell to attract their animal helpers, the bees, and the story starts all over again. Arnold's apple tree. I also have one little short book called Apples for Everyone. Apples are amazing in their variety, different tastes and textures and colors. It's fun to have apple tasting parties, something I enjoy doing with my young friends. Seen any apples lately? She looks like she's got big bug eyes, doesn't she? Early each year, in orchards and backyards, apple trees bloom. Look at, they're just full of flowers. The bees are so happy. Drawn by the sweet smell, bees buzz from blossom to blossom. As time passes, petals flutter to the grass and fuzzy bumps appear. Slowly, the baby apples grow bigger, turning all shades of red, a glowing green, a cheerful yellow. Remember, none of these apples would have formed without the gift of pollination by our bee buddies. Apples might have golden speckles or snazzy stripes. They might be as round as a ball or tall and lumpy bottomed. Limbs droop heavy with ripe fruit. Some apples thud to the ground, then rot and become food for the growing tree. They also become food for animals that live in that habitat, whether they're worms and roly-polies or deer and rabbits and animals like that. Nothing goes to waste on Mother Earth. At last it is fall, harvest time, and fresh apples are everywhere. Look at apples as far as you can see. Grocery stores, farmers markets, roadside stands. You might even climb a ladder to pick your own. Your teeth sink in crunch, and tart sweet juice dribbles down your chin. I like to say chinny chin chin. People bob for apples at Halloween parties or dip them into melted caramel for a sweet gooey treat. Apples may be baked into pies and cinnamony desserts or added to yummy Thanksgiving stuffing. It's all good. Some are cooked into thick applesauce or crushed to make juice. On a chilly night, a steaming mug of tangy cider chases away goosebumps, especially if you put a cinnamon stick in there. Yum. Apple trees have been growing in America for hundreds of years, since colonists brought pips, or what we call apple seeds, from England. When most of America was still unsettled, a pioneer named John Chapman spent his summers hiking through the wilderness, planting apple seeds, or pips, wherever he went. His nickname was Johnny Appleseed. He came through this area too, planting trees on his travels. And apple seeds lie in its core. Cut an apple crosswise and you'll see the shape of a star. Each of the star pockets has one or two seeds sleeping inside. They sleep until it's time to be planted to grow. Americans eat more apples than any other fruit. There's a reason they say an apple a day keeps the doctor away. It's so healthy for your body. There are many flavors to choose from with names like Fuji, Gala, Granny Smith, Honeycrisp, Jonathan, Macintosh, Pink Lady, and Red Delicious. Have you found your favorite? Ah, love at first bite. I love apples, and I'm going to share one of my favorite snack recipes in my little activity pack for pumpkin peanut dip to have with sliced apples. A very tasty treat. I hope you'll enjoy it with your family and friends. It makes a great snack for Halloween. Till next time, enjoy the fruits provided by our bee buddies on our wonderful Mother Earth.